Something feels different around the Indianapolis Colts right now. There is a heavy tension hanging over the facility that every real fan can sense. We were told the future was set, but now everything is shifting beneath our feet. This isn't just about one player. It's about the soul of this franchise and our path back to the Super Bowl. Before we dive into the uncertainty surrounding our quarterback room, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. If you are a faithful member of the Horseshoe, you need to stay updated on what is happening behind closed doors. It is a reality that is becoming incredibly tough for many of us to stomach as we look at the current state of the Indianapolis Colts roster. We all remember the day we drafted Anthony Richardson with the 4th overall pick, believing he was the dynamic savior who would finally end the post-Luck era of uncertainty. But here we are, and the narrative has shifted into something much darker and more complicated than anyone could have predicted. The news is now official that Richardson has been granted permission to seek a trade, a move that essentially signals the end of an era before it truly even began. It feels like a massive weight is pressing down on the franchise, because this isn't just a minor roster move. This is a total admission that the plan we all bought into has failed. Now, while we wait for news, the situation has taken a turn that leaves the team in a very awkward position. Daniel Jones is now firmly entrenched as the starter after signing that massive 2-year extension, leaving Richardson in a professional limbo. The future for him in Indianapolis looks non-existent on paper, yet the trade market is not responding the way his camp expected. This is where the emotional tension really starts to build for the fans. We are watching a high-stakes poker game where the Colts might be holding a hand they can't even play. There is a sense of disappointment that both sides must share, as the tenure has been defined more by injuries and drama than by highlight reel touchdowns. It hurts to see such a massive investment potentially walk away for nothing, or worse, stay in a building where he no longer feels wanted. This isn't just a technical analysis of a depth chart. It is about the emotional investment we all made in a young man's potential. Now we have to ask ourselves what this does to the locker room culture. Having a former top 5 pick sitting in the meeting rooms while actively trying to leave is a recipe for atmospheric disaster. We want to believe in the Horseshoe, but this specific situation is testing the patience of even the most loyal fans who just want to see the clear direction of this football team going forward today. But here is the thing that makes this situation even more stressful for those of us following every update. The doors that we thought were open for a trade are slamming shut one by one, and it creates a massive sense of unease. There was a lot of buzz suggesting that teams like the Green Bay Packers, San Francisco 49ers, or the Los Angeles Rams could be the perfect landing spots for Richardson to reset his career. Those are the systems where dynamic quarterbacks go to find their rhythm under guys like LaFleur and McVay. However, the reality of the NFL market is cold and unforgiving. Just recently, the Packers decided to sign Tyrod Taylor to be the backup for Jordan Love, which essentially kills the last logical fit for a Richardson trade. With the Niners and Rams also filling their rooms, the trade market for Anthony has all but dried up. Now this is where it gets interesting, because Richardson is actually reporting to voluntary off-season workouts this week. Can you imagine the tension in that building? You have a player who requested to leave, a front office that said yes, and a market that said no. Now everyone has to look each other in the eye and pretend it is business as usual. The writing is on the wall that he might have to stay through the end of his rookie contract, especially after the Colts declined his 5th-year option. That decision by the front office was a massive statement. It was a signal that the trust is gone. We are looking at a scenario where a high-profile player is stuck in a place he doesn't want to be, and the team is stuck with an asset they can't move. This creates a hidden pressure on the entire coaching staff. How do you manage the repetitions? How do you keep the focus on Daniel Jones when you have a former 4th overall pick looming in the background? The emotional stakes are incredibly high because any mistake Jones makes will immediately lead to fans screaming for the guy who is already halfway out the door. It is a cycle of uncertainty that could potentially derail the entire season if it isn't handled with extreme care by Chris Ballard and the coaching staff. This feels like a ticking time bomb for the chemistry of the offensive unit today. And honestly, this is where the biggest question for the future of the franchise really starts to emerge. We have to look at what this really means for the depth chart moving forward into 2026. While the trade market is silent right now, the internal battle in Indianapolis is about to get much more intense. We all know that Daniel Jones is the undisputed starter for now, but his injury history is something that keeps every Colts fan up at night. He is coming off a serious Achilles tear, and that isn't something you just ignore. This means that whoever is the backup is potentially one play away from leading this entire franchise. Right now, there is a lot of talk about Riley Leonard. He looked impressive in moments against the Texans, but he is far from a finished product. He had those 2 fumbles and that costly interception that really hurt us. So, if Richardson stays because he has nowhere else to go, we are looking at a brutal competition for that QB2 spot. This is the emotional loop we find ourselves in. Richardson wants a change of scenery to save his career, but his best chance to actually play might be right here in Indy if he can just beat out Leonard. It is a complicated mess of ego, potential, and desperation. If Richardson can actually fix his fundamentals and show that he understands NFL defenses better than he did in the past, he has the physical tools to be a much better insurance policy than Leonard. But that is a massive if. The pressure on Richardson to perform during these voluntary workouts and the upcoming minicamps is unlike anything we have seen. He is fighting for his professional life while the fans are watching to see if he even wants to be here. This could become something much bigger than a simple backup battle. It could become a narrative that defines the entire culture of the Shane Steichen era. Are we a team that can rehabilitate a struggling star, or are we just waiting for the contract to expire so we can finally move on? The suspense is killing the fan base because we are caught between wanting him to succeed and wanting the drama to just end so we can focus on winning games in the very near future. I'm going to be honest with you all, this situation actually worries me more than most people are admitting. I really want to like the idea of Richardson staying and finding his way, but the emotional weight of his first 3 years is so heavy. It has been a disastrous tenure filled with injuries and underwhelming performances. This was supposed to be the guy, and now he is just a name on a trade block that nobody is biting on. It hurts to see the potential of a player like that seemingly waste away. But on the other side, there is a part of me that sees a silver lining here. If he stays and if he actually puts in the work to beat out Riley Leonard, we might have the most talented backup situation in the entire league. Think about the security that provides given the uncertainty with Daniel Jones's health. I think fans should pay attention to how Richardson carries himself this Friday during the rookie minicamp. This is about more than just football. It is about his identity as a professional. I want to see a guy who is hungry to prove everyone wrong, even if he feels like the team gave up on him by signing Jones and declining that fifth-year option. This move could be incredible for his growth if he humbles himself, or it could become a problem that poisons the well. I am cautiously optimistic because I still see the flashes of greatness that made us fall in love with him on draft day. But the reality is that the NFL is a business that doesn't wait for anyone to catch up. The fact that his agent feels a change of scenery is necessary tells you everything you need to know about the relationship with the front office. It feels fractured. It feels like there are wounds here that might not heal just by showing up to practice. As a fan, I am torn. I want the best for the Colts. And sometimes the best thing is moving on. But when you can't move on, you have to find a way to make it work. This is going to be one of the most emotional storylines to follow as we head into the summer training camp. The story is far from over. Being ranked as the 9th worst quarterback room is a wake-up call for all of us. It reminds us that while we have made progress since the dark days of 2023, we are not where we need to be. The future of the Carolina Panthers is tied directly to the arm and the mind of Bryce Young. Whether he can shatter that ceiling or if he remains a good but not great option will decide the fate of this entire era of Panthers football. The uncertainty is thick right now. We are heading into a season where every single pass will be scrutinized and every backup rep will be watched with nervous eyes. Something bigger is still coming for this team. Whether it is a breakout year for Bryce or a realization that we need a different path, we are going to be here for every second of it. We are the real fans, the ones who do not leave when things get tough. But I want to hear from you. Do you think this ranking is unfair? Is Bryce Young being held to a standard that no one could meet? Or is it time to worry about the lack of depth behind him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let us talk about the future of our team. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to stay tuned into everything happening with the Panthers. Keep pounding, because the journey is just getting started.